Hey there, my friends. I am so excited about lesson number 76. And just to let you know, I don't look ahead. So when I flip the page in the morning, I'm like, oh yeah, this was one of my favorites. Like I literally say this all the time, especially during the past few years with all of the silly rules and restrictions that are out there in the world and the way people just seem to obey them from their sense of preservation or whatever they think they're doing out there. So anyway, lesson number 76 of A Course in Miracles. Here we are, back again. I am under no law but God's. Mic drop moment for Jesus right there. We have observed before how many senseless things seemed to you to be salvation. Each has imprisoned you with laws as senseless as itself. You are not bound by them, yet to understand that this is so, you must first realize salvation lies not there. While you would seek for it in things that have no meaning, you bind yourself to laws that make no sense. Thus do you seek to prove salvation is where it is not. Today, we will be glad you cannot prove it. For if you could, you would forever seek salvation where it is not and never find it. The idea for today tells you once again how simple is salvation. Look for it where it waits for you, and there it will be found. Look nowhere else, for it is nowhere else. Think of the freedom in the recognition that you are not bound by all the strange and twisted laws you have set up to save you. You really think that you would starve unless you have stacks of green paper strips and piles of metal discs. You really think a small round pellet or some fluid pushed into your veins through a sharpened needle, Jesus says, will ward off disease and death. You really think you are alone unless another body is with you. It is insanity that thinks these things. You call them laws and put them under different names in a catalog of rituals that have no use and serve no purpose. You think you must obey the laws of medicine, of economics, and of health. Protect the body, and you will be saved. These are not laws, but madness. Madness. The body is endangered by the mind that hurts itself. The body suffers just in order that the mind will fail to see it is the victim of itself. The body's suffering is a mask the mind holds up to hide what really suffers. I'm going to say that again. The body's suffering is a mask the mind holds up to hide what really suffers. It would not understand it is its own enemy, that it attacks itself and wants to die. It is from this your laws would save the body. It is for this you think you are a body. There are no laws except laws of God. This needs repeating over and over until you realize it applies to everything you have made in opposition to God's will. Your magic has no meaning. What it is meant to save does not exist. Only what it is meant to hide will save you. The laws of God can never be replaced. We will devote today to rejoicing that this is so. It is no longer a truth that we would hide. We realize instead it is a truth that keeps us free forever. Magic imprisons, but the laws of God make free. The light has come because there are no laws but His. See how they always build on it? We will begin the longer practice periods today with a short review of the different kinds of laws we have believed we must obey. These would include, for example, the quote-unquote laws of nutrition, of immunization, of medication, of the body's protections in innumerable ways. Think further. You believe in the laws of friendship, of so-called good relationships and reciprocity. Perhaps you even think that there are laws which set forth what is God's and what is yours. Many religions have been based on this. They would not save but damn in heaven's name. Yet they are no more strange than any other laws you hold must be obeyed to make you safe. Be safe, everybody out there. Woo! Love this one. There are no laws but God's. Dismiss all foolish, magical beliefs today and hold your mind in silent readiness to hear the voice that speaks the truth to you. You will be listening to one who says there is no loss under the laws of God. Payment is neither given nor received. Exchange cannot be made. There are no substitutes, and nothing is replaced by something else. God's laws forever give and never take. Hear him who tells you this and realize how foolish are the laws you thought upheld the world you thought you saw. Then listen further. He will tell you more about the love your Father has for you, about the endless joy he offers you, about his yearning for his only Son, created as his channel for creation, denied to him by his beliefs in hell. Let us today open God's channel to him and let his will extend through us to him. Thus is creation endlessly increased. His voice will speak of this to us, as well as of the joys of heaven, which his laws keep limitless forever. We will repeat today's idea until we have listened and understood that there are no laws but God's. Then we will tell ourselves as a dedication with which the practice period concludes, I am under no laws but God's. Powerful. We will repeat this dedication as often as possible today, at least 4 or 5 times an hour, as well as in response to any temptation to experience ourselves as subject to other laws throughout the day. It is our statement of freedom from all danger and all tyranny. It is our acknowledgement that God is our Father and that his Son is saved. You are under no law but God's. Remember that. I think about it when I'm at a stop sign and there's no other cars around. It's a suggestion, I have free will, I have a mind to think, but we're so conditioned with things like that. I mean, driving is an easy one, but think about all the other rules and restrictions and things that you live by that just like make your consciousness so filled up with garbage. All right. Lesson number 76. Let's take a look at a year of forgiveness and see what Jesus has to say here. I am under no law but God's. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. The ego will not like this lesson at all. This is an important time for you to remember that these lessons do not have to be understood. You do not have to agree with them. They merely need you to practice them because your society has so many laws and you have been so indoctrinated into them. You have incorporated great fear into the mind as it relates to your government's laws, tax, driving laws, parking laws, and bylaws in your local communities. Laws, laws, laws. These are all designed to disconnect you from this truth that you live under no law but God's. When you begin to really believe and know and act as if this is true, you see evidence of its truth. You find you bring into being circumstances and opportunities that defy the laws of your world. You call them miracles, and that is exactly what God's law provides for you. They provide you with the opportunity to perform miracles. In that demonstration, you see the truth of what you have learned. But we don't want you to learn these lessons so you can show off and produce miracles. In fact, the miracles should not be yours by design. You should allow them to be worked through you by higher teachers who know what is in the best interest of everyone. Only do what you are inspired to do, trust your guidance, know there are things that seem good on the surface that you want to do when you are indoctrinated into your world's laws, but they may very well not work toward the good of all. Trust in your inspiration and guidance, and know that even though this lesson seems unreal to you in your current state of consciousness, it is the truth. You are under no law but God's, and eventually you see that is the truth. But for now, do the lessons. Teach yourself this new idea, and understand that any resistance is natural because you are under so many other laws, and you do indeed believe in them. There will come a time on your planet when the laws of God will be far more visible, and we are working together toward that day indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we will see you again tomorrow. All right, so my little tidbit on lesson 76. I mentioned yesterday that I went on a first date with an awesome, amazing person. And he and I decided that we're going to do a little relationship experiment. And we're going to create what they call in these sort of spiritual circles a container. So this man and I are going to practice being in a relationship, but we're going to make every single rule ourselves, like in every realm that you could possibly think of. So it's kind of like playing house without actually living in the same household. But what I'm saying is, rather than just having relationships like I've had in the past where basically nothing is talked about, and like as soon as you get to a point of like intimacy or something, it seems like there's no turning back. Then you're kind of afraid to say things that might hurt your partner's feelings, and you're like, well, we're already at this point, so there's nothing we can do. Bullshit. You're under no law but God's. So even if you've been married for 40 years and you're like, I feel like I'm in hell, I'm in prison, my relationship sucks, you can sit down with your partner and say, hey, for the next 30 days, we're going to design something that's exactly what we want to do, completely different, completely honest, and at the end of it, we can like scrap it and throw it away, or we can maybe integrate some of these things into our life now. So, there's a lot more to this, but I just want to share that with you because I definitely don't feel like I need to follow any freaking laws, especially relationship laws, because the purpose of my relationships from now and to the end of time, of my earthly lifetime, is about connecting with the divine and using whatever kind of energy is produced in my relationship, sexual energy, friendship energy, energy to help people in terms of like creating a workspace or something. All of that is going to be in service to the divine, not in service to my ego, and not in service to the rules and laws of society. That's all bullshit. It doesn't serve anybody if you follow those rules. You become sick and exhausted, and just, it sucks. So take that on, maybe. I mean, it doesn't have to be a relationship, but for the next 30 days, maybe think about something that you want to redesign in your life and like choreograph it exactly the way you want and do a little experiment. Our 30 days doesn't actually start for a little while because I'm going out of town, but yeah, I'll keep you posted. You're under no law but God's about every single freaking thing in your life. Enjoy.